Alright, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how to quickly solve an algebra equation using very few steps, maximum 3 steps to solve an algebra equation. I can better explain this with an example. So the example I'm going to use is going to be 3p minus 17 is equal to 18 minus 2p. All right, and the way this works is you first take a visual note of how many terms you have, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, right? And then the very first step says group like terms together. What are the like terms? All the terms, and I mentioned in my previous video that each of these is called a term of the expression or equation. So this is a term, that is a term, and that's another term. Also, we note that each term travels with a sign in front of it, right? So this term is actually minus 17. This is minus 2p. We got plus 18 plus 3p. All right. So step 1, group like terms together. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to bring all the terms that are common. So we're going to bring, for example, all the p's to the left and then all the non-p's to the right. All right? And when we're doing that, anytime any of the terms crosses the equal to sign, anyone who crosses the equal to sign, the sign that it travels with or in front of it changes. So if it's plus, it will become minus on the other side. If it was minus, it will become positive on the other side. And they can travel either way, depending on how we decide to carry out the arrangement. So here we're trying to bring all the p's to the left, all right, and then all the non-p's to the right. Okay, so what do? We first put our equal to sign, and then on the left we have 3p, all right. So we're going to move minus 17 to the right. Okay, so already we have 18 here. That doesn't change, right? And then once we bring the 17, it becomes plus 17, right? Because it was minus 17 here. It becomes plus 17. And then we have to remember to take care of this, right? So minus 2p will have to move to the left, and it will become plus 2p eventually. At this point, we make sure we visually account for all the terms. We started with 4 terms. We have to end up with 4 terms after the arrangement. All right, and then the second step says evaluate the grouped items. It means, we can evaluate this. We know 3p plus 2p is equal to 5p. And then we have an equal to sign here. 18 plus 17 is 35, right? So that's the second step. The last step is simplify by dividing both sides of the equation by the coefficient of the variable. So here we know our variable is p, right? So this is where we are, right? So here, the coefficient of p in this case is 5. So we divide this by 5, and then this by 5, right? And then we know we can cancel out. So 5 into 5 is 1. 5 into 5 is 1. 5 into 5 is 1. 5 into 35 is 7. So on the left side now we have P is equal to, on the right side we have 7. So our answer is 7. So you notice that in one step we're able to arrange the equation, right, without using the step of adding, subtracting, because if the equation is very long, it could take you a long time to go through those steps. But if you are careful and vigilant and you do the visual inspection well and take into consideration the signs in front of the terms, then you should be okay. I think I'll make a boo-boo here. All right. So this is one question that we just looked at. Let's look at another question. All right, so I'm going to give something like 11 minus 7x is equal to 3x minus, let's say, 15. All right. So using our 3-step approach, first thing we do after we do a visual inspection, we see 4 terms, right? And we have to note which one has negative, which one has positive. So the first step is to rearrange so that like terms are together. First step is like terms together. All right. And when you're doing the rearrangement, you have to decide where you want your like terms to be. You want your like terms to be on the left or the right. It depends on you. Meaning if you want all x's to be on the left, it's your choice. If you want all of them to be on your right, it's your choice. At the end of the day, you're going to get the same answer if you pay attention to the negatives and the positives that are introduced thereof. So let's say we want all our constants or the ones without the variable to be on the left. So what we do in this case is we put our equal to sign, right? We have 11 here. We bring 15 to join 11. Because it's minus 15 on the right side, it becomes plus 15 on the left side. We have 3x here. It's already here. Now we need to move minus 7x to join it on the right side. Minus 7x becomes plus 7x. Right? So you notice in one step, we've jumped a lot of, a series of steps that we could have taken to get to a point like this. All right. So the second step in our 3-step approach says evaluate this. So what we do is 11 plus 15 is 26. And then 3x plus 7x is 10x. Right? Remember, 10x is equal to 26 is the same as 26 is equal to 10x. So at this point, you can switch it around, right? Some students may panic that the x term is on the right. It doesn't matter because there's an equal to sign between them. So here you can go ahead and just solve it. And the last step says divide by the coefficient of x, right? The coefficient of the variable. Here the coefficient of the variable is 10. It's the 10 that we see here, right? This is the coefficient of the x term. So we divide this by 10. We divide this by 10. Whatever we do on the right, we do on the left. Whatever we do on the left, we do on the right. So here, this 10 cancels out. And then 26 over 10 is basically 2.6, if we remember our decimals, right? Or, you can use long division, which will, it will introduce another extra time. So on the left, we have 2.6 is equal to x, right? Which is the same as x is equal to 2.6. All right. So I hope these two examples will help you realize that there's a faster way to solve basic algebra equation other than the steps that we would normally take. At the end of the day, the steps that we're taking is basically the same thing we are doing, right? Because, for example, in this particular situation, right, this question, if we started off by saying, okay, we're going to get rid of 7x from the left, what would we have done? We would add 7x, right? And when we add 7x here, we have to add 7x here. And that's the 7x that appears here, plus 7x. Next step would have been, get rid of the minus 15 here. How do you get rid of it? You add 15, right? Anything you do here, you have to repeat here, right? So that appears here. So you notice that in one step, we're able to resolve these two steps, and we have what we can evaluate and simplify. All right. Thank you for listening in.